Guys, what is up? Happy summer vintage collection from the Music Emporium. It's Andy here.
Dan here.
And we have so many nice guitars to show you today. We're going to go over maybe just the highlights of this collection, but keep in mind there's so much more. Link is in the description below. Just hit that and you will see the whole schmear of it on our website. Let's start with a couple of highlights from the acoustic division of the collection. Two of the cleanest Gibson jumbos you are ever going to see, starting with this amazing 1941 J55.
Yeah.
J55, kind of a rare model, as you Gibson nerds most likely know. I always kind of think of this thing as like a stutter step between the advanced jumbo and the J45, which would come a couple years later. This one is from 1941. Nothing really to say other than amazingly clean, shockingly clean condition. I dig the style. Batwing bridge on this one, they made them two different ways, mustache and batwing bridge. The batwings sound unquestionably better in my opinion, subjective maybe, but played a handful of them and there's kind of little debating that in my experience. Elongated fire stripe pickguard, bound fingerboard, but a short scale. So like I said, kind of a stutter step between the advanced jumbos look and the J45, which would come to fame in the banner years of the early 40s. The sound is
so good.
Absolutely unbelievable. Yeah. It's one of the lightest weight Gibson jumbos that we've ever had in the store and just completely resonant from end to end. And with kind of an amazing amount of roundness to the sound, not a lot of honk. It's super lightweight, almost kind of like splits the line between a Martin and a Gibson a little bit.
Totally. And the neck is great playing as well. Not insane baseball bat, early 40s, pre-war neck that you run into with a lot of the banner year.
Right, not at all. That's kind of why these remind me of an AJ in a weird way too, because the AJ's had a much thinner neck profile, 11/16 nut. It's not the like Dan said, baseball bat neck that you would have on a banner J45 made even like 1 year later than this. So yeah, super comfortable guitar, incredible sound. If you're looking for that kind of like storybook Gibson jumbo, I can't imagine a better sounding or fitting guitar than this one.
And the next episode of Dad's Old Guitar, man, mid-50s Esquire at its finest. This is a 1956 Esquire. Came in from the family of the original owner, Grand Prairie, Texas. Beautiful, beautiful piece. Man, I can't say enough about Esquires from this period. I know Telly's got all the attention because of the two pickup thing, but it's so hard to beat these things when they're as good as this one is. I mean, you got the single ply, 5-hole guard, gorgeous blonde finish. This one really hasn't faded out at all either. And maybe the best neck I've ever played. This is like the prototypical soft V neck from this period, right before it gets a little bit kind of tighter, more that hard V you see in 57. Man, what a player. Beautiful shape. The guitar just has this acoustic liveliness and resonance that I associate with a lot of these early to mid-50s Tellys and Strats. They're bright, they're clear, woody, super dynamic. They're so fun to play, even just acoustically.
Yep.
But man, what a treat! This thing came in with the case as clean as the guitar. Really, just a little bit of honest wear from a few years of play, and then cased up.
Speaking of clean, this 1953 Gibson J45 was unearthed very recently, just north of us in the Exeter, New Hampshire area. Came out of the closet of its original owner. I know you're probably bored of hearing us say that at this point, but I'm not bored of seeing these things and having them come into the shop. This one also happens to be, like the J55 we showed earlier, one of the lightest Gibson jumbos I've ever heard. I mean, this thing is like, it will float away on a stiff gust of wind. Incredibly clean condition. Only the tuner buttons and saddle have been replaced. The old zombie teeth were probably discarded a long time ago, and thankfully you can now use the guitar.
All right, now what would one of these collections be without some student model love? I love student model guitars from this period, and especially these guys. 1959, Fender Music Master. It doesn't get any more basic than this, but it's such a cool guitar. I mean, desert sand finish, anodized gold guard, maple neck. I don't care what the scale length is. I don't care what it was intended to be. This thing plays and sounds so great. It's so much fun to play. Super light, super cool. This one's in great shape. Recent acquisition for us. Had the pickup changed out at one point, but the original was in the case. It's got the original case. What a looker, man. This thing is so cool.
That is cute. That is just straight up cute. Look at that.
I love these things. chimey, open, bright, percussive. They do a lot more than advertise. You know, that's the whole thing about student model or junior style guitars. Just because it has one pickup doesn't mean you can't take it further than it might appear in front of you. You know what I mean?
This and the Esquire. I mean, one pickup guitars are so fun to play, especially if you're coming from an acoustic background. It's like, what more do you need? And one pickup guitar is going to say, like, what can you do? Show me what you got. And it's really fun to kind of like experience that without all those switches and knobs.
Exactly.
Who needs them?
Get to playing, right?
Yep.
Yeah. This is a really special early 1959 ES355T in the original cherry finish, faded to, man, like the best watermelon. These early cherry finish 335, 345, 355 guitars, the way they fade out, super special. There's really nothing like it. Thin top, 2 PAFs in this guitar. It's got the factory pearl dots over the stop tail bushings. You could convert it to a stop bar if you wanted to, but we're leaving it as is. This guitar was shipped to a customer direct in LA in 1959. Spent its life in California until we recently acquired it about a month ago. Man, this thing is absolutely superb. Sounds great. It's got maybe one of the best necks on it. I mean, it's like the perfect combination of, you know, the later 59, a little bit of a leaner carve. So super playable, super comfortable, kind of like that Goldilocks feel to me. And such a looker. I mean, this thing presents so well. These guitars are so gorgeous. And this one is just special. It's seen a lot of play wear, a lot of honest wear. As you can tell, most of the original gold plating is worn off. The cool thing about this guitar, though, was kind of unearthing a lot of the originality. Pulling the pickups out, you got gold on the underside of the pickups. You got all the original gold plating on the underside of the Bigsby. You know, most of the gold on the back of the tuners is gone, but you get little glimpses of it here and there. So it's kind of like that combination of just, it was honestly played, but you can see very well cared for. A cherished instrument for sure. These are really, really special, really hard to find. Not many of them out there, and surviving in this kind of shape is pretty unique.
All right, guys, those were some of the highlights from the summer 2024 vintage collection, but there is more to see. Dan, what else is kind of coming on the electric side?
Yeah, we've also got a 68 maple cap Blontelli, got this 62 clean one owner brown face concert here in the back. Cool, really cool pieces to show off for sure.
Yeah, and on the acoustic side, we have a trio of Style 18 Martins that are amongst the lightest from each model you'll ever encounter. A D18 from 1943, a 0018 from 1943, and a 0018 from 1928, which is like under 3 pounds. I think it's about a 2.5 pound sub-Kel Croydon weight guitar.
Floating away.
Floating away. Oh, and 2 Lloyd Loar signed F5 mandolins.
Oh yeah, no big deal.
No big deal. Like and subscribe. We'll see you soon.
See ya.